Hello, marketing barbarians.
Marketing barbarians.
Welcome to the still unsponsored podcast, where we're going to be discussing marketing, management, and a lot of other bullshit.
Particularly the bullshit tonight.
Particularly bullshit. Yes. Yeah. So tonight, coming up, we have Facebook, Trump, and Russia. A little bit of news there recently. Nice 60 minutes hit piece that we can discuss. Dove being racist. Did you read that story yet?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. We'll hit that one. McDonald's doing it right or wrong with Rick and Morty.
Very, very.
There's going to be like 3 people interested in that one.
Probably.
And then we're going to discuss work-life balance.
Yeah. That'll be a good one. That'll be a fun one.
Mostly work.
Yeah. Balance is it's a word. It doesn't really exist. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I think we just covered that topic.
Well, in particular, we can cover like Google Hangouts on your phone.
Yeah.
Which is, like once that happens, you're done for. But anyway, moving along. Zach, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, this is my second glass of wine. It's Kim Crawford right now.
You mean your second bottle?
Yeah, second bottle.
Yeah.
I didn't drink the whole first bottle myself. Don't get the wrong impression.
We had help.
Yeah, we had some help.
Yeah.
So right now it's just some Kim Crawford. What was it? $10, $13 or so.
Like $8.50.
Hey-oo. It's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Just,
so Kim Crawford has like the standard like Marlboro Sauvignon Blanc, which I got on sale for like $8.50, something like that. But it's usually like about $10.
Yeah, so you got a good
And then
deal.
they have the Spitfire, which is usually about $16.
Mm-hmm.
And we tested this.
That's right, we did. It was good. It was actually really good.
It was good, but maybe not worth the $6 price increase.
Agreed.
Yeah. So there you have it. Oh, man.
Oh.
Now I'm cramming my wine glass into the mic stand.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we are, in fact, recording.
Cool.
That's a good sign.
Well, the red light is on, so yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have to do it again.
Ugh.
Okay. CBS, somewhat hit piece on, I think what they thought going in was going to be a hit piece on the Trump campaign.
Right.
And the way that they advertised.
Right.
And they basically demonstrated that, like most people, they don't know jack shit about the internet.
Which, well, not even the internet, but just how internet marketing works. Here's my question.
Okay,
right?
wait, hang on. Let's summarize what happened here.
Good
60 Minutes ran a piece on how the Trump campaign utilized Facebook ads to win the campaign.
Right.
Right? And it was a lot of like very niche micro-targeting. It was like massive programmatic buys. It was massive utilization of reps actually coming into the office.
Which was shocking.
Yeah. For those of us that have had reps come into the office and we're not spending $90 million.
Right.
Right. And then there was a bunch of things in there that was sort of like, you can tell when they want to try and trigger your outrage because it's like, they spent $90 million. Like, okay.
Well, okay, so it doesn't help that the guy they interviewed, I forget what's his name. I mean, okay, he kind of like brought it on himself too a little bit during the interview. I mean, he definitely was not. I don't know the right word to say. He was enjoying it. He was kind of reveling in like, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and they sicked the whatever her name was, the older.
Yeah, exactly. Who's usually out there doing like criminal investigation,
right? War stuff, on site, interviewing the Pope, that type of thing.
Right. So, he struck me actually almost like a dude we'd want to have on the podcast. Like, okay, so do we want to just take like enter the BS, right? We changed our setup here. So the last time we recorded this podcast, which most people listening to the podcast are probably listening in reverse order right now.
Right.
Because that would be like 3 people.
Right.
Right. So they probably started with a third podcast and are listening backwards. So
started from the best.
So the good news is that it only gets worse from here. Last time we recorded with a stereo mic, it was sort of like a lot of ambient noise. And this time we have, brace yourself, $22 microphones.
$22. Why did...
I think you need to tighten it.
You think tighten it?
I'm kind of impressed at the amount of, or like the not amount of noise that you're getting out of that thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I know. Is that better? No.
Yeah, no, I think it's good.
You think it's better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave it.
Okay.
Stop touching it, Zach. You're like a teenage boy. You just
Yeah.
like can't keep your hands off of it.
Basically. There, is that any better?
I don't know.
I think no.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Oh, you know what? This thing might be reversed.
Did you see? Where's the logo?
Right here.
Okay, that's the front.
Okay, I'm talking into the front.
I'm gonna put a label on it next time that says "front towards Zach."
I got it. All right. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, this is DJ Zach.
What were we talking about? Oh, I think I was about to say that I like the guy, and it seems like the kind of marketer that would be interesting to hang out with. Like,
definitely.
If we ever got to the point where we were having guests, like that would be an interesting dude to talk about because he wanted to nerd out about, like, one, he's a marketer that influenced an election.
Right.
Like, okay.
Well, influence isn't the right word, but yeah.
All right. What word would you put on it?
He assisted an election.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, CBS was doing this hit piece trying to say that he like won the election for
Correct.
Trump
won because of Facebook, because of
this dude.
Because of this dude.
Right.
Right.
So, good for this dude.
Right.
Right. Like, I think you put that on your LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean this dude. I mean, imagine just this situation. So the way they opened the story, giving some background on this dude, he had some small web design shop. Somehow got connected up with one of the Trump properties somewhere. Underbid everyone. I think he said he charged like $1,500 for a website, which, that's pretty damn cheap. And then just started doing a ton.
I think they said that he built Trump's campaign website for $1,500.
Yeah. Well, he also
and he did it in 2 days.
Yes, he also did like Eric's foundation. He did a whole bunch of golf resorts. I mean, the campaign website was like last in a long series of Trump websites. So
right.
Imagine just having that on your resume. Hey, I'm the Trump website dude. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
But then to go and say, oh, well, guess what? Now I've spent $90 million in the span of it wasn't even a year either.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the other crazy part. It wasn't a year. It was, I think, like 8-9 months maybe.
Well, the one like somewhat nice thing they said about him, it was like a quote from his wife, and it was like, you won the Super Bowl without knowing how to play football.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty awesome. But
and he won.
And he won.
Right.
Right. So getting back on track, I think first thing to point out is like the general population does not understand Facebook. Like we run into this all the time where the general population does not understand retargeting, much less like the amount of data that they're giving up to Facebook.
Right.
Right. I guess between this podcast and the last podcast, we're starting to sound like people that are paranoid about their data. But I think it's like maybe the thing is our jobs give us insight into how much of your personal data is available to people like us.
Yeah, I guess what I'm surprised at overall is this. Facebook makes hundreds of billions of dollars a year. Where do people think it's coming from? Yeah. Right? Like I when you type in all your interests, is it a shocker that all the ads are very tailored to you? Right. Like is it the Facebook magic? Right. I guess even if you don't understand how internet marketing works, right. I think common sense would say, hey, I'm using this service for free. I'm getting something. Right. I'm seeing these advertisements that look really good.
Totally.
So even, yeah, anywho.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's what was so amusing about the CBS piece was, oh, you got a message.
Actually, I need to mute this because I think this is actually the Nest Cam, speaking of data privacy, telling me that there are people wandering around downstairs.
Good. Oh, good. So. The whole amusing part of the CBS piece was, people didn't understand, especially as correspondent, did not understand how internet marketing worked, I think, in a whole. And then when he started going into some of the tactics that he was using about the micro-targeting, about being able to target certain, very small sets of populations with certain interests, and then A/B testing.
So let's talk about some of his tactics.
Yeah.
Because that's where, like, okay, so for not understanding what they were doing, they actually did some very they exposed some interesting tactics that, you know, I think we could utilize, right, in our day jobs. Like, maybe not to the same extent, but like, it's interesting that it could scale. So one of the things that he was doing is he was like programmatically creating creative and like micro targeting it against people.
Right.
So, you know, he knew if you liked the image with the green background, or if you liked the image with Hillary's face,
hold on.
the.
Yes, but do you know how he did that?
Well, I would love to know how he did that.
He took 3 campaigns and literally just saw which one probably had the highest engagement rate with what asset.
Right.
And then turned them off and went crazy.
Okay, so I'm giving this guy a lot of credit. It could be that we'd go look at his account and be like, yeah, whatever.
It's the scale, though. You're right. The scale is pretty impressive.
The scale is impressive, right? And
although he had 100 people doing it, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that kind of leads us to the. Well, we'll probably end up coming back to this,
all
but
right.
like,
I'm all excited tonight. It's exciting.
Well, I know, and who knows? Maybe we'll spend the entire podcast talking about this and just be like, yeah, once you get promoted, your life's fucked, so get used to it. Yeah. So okay. So highlights. You know, he spent $90 million. Okay. So the other thing that, like, whatever her name was, the rep or not rep.
Hold on, I have a computer here. I can look it up real quick.
The news anchor got all uptight about was that Facebook and Google and Twitter were sending people to the Trump campaign's office to work hand in hand with the Trump campaign to, you know, do stuff, right?
Right.
So if you're on the inside, right, if you're from the internet marketing world, that's not going to surprise you in the slightest, because we have a revolving door of those sorts of people coming through our office.
Yeah, or anyone who signs up for an ad account literally is bombarded immediately with friendly small business consultants. Right.
And normally the conversation that we would be having is like, how much do you trust your reps, and like, do you want to work with them? Right. So he obviously chose, you know, trust your reps, because he needed to maximize his like reach and his targeting and his efficiency and all that stuff. Yep. So, you know, I think, you know, in our world, internet marketing world, there's a lot of people that are like maybe wanting to hide from the reps because they're trying to push the limits on what they can get away with editorial wise. Or no, editorial's the wrong word. Like standards, essentially. Yeah. Right. But, you know, he was basically going the other way, and, you know, you dangle enough money in front of these publicly traded companies and they go find the, like, 2 Republicans that are in the San Francisco office and train them real good. And
fly them out overnight first class in your office.
Fly them out to San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Leslie Stahl. That's
Stahl.
the name. Yeah,
okay. What was the guy's name? We keep saying the guy's name. Like, clearly we have a lot of respect for him regardless of what we think about Trump.
Brad Parscale.
Brad Parscale.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Brad, if you end up listening to this, which we'll tweet you if you haven't given up on Twitter.
Right.
I got some real mixed feelings about your boss.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah. But what you did here was really fucking impressive. Okay, so the other thing that I had in my notes that I wanted to talk about was, like, you know, they're like, oh my God, Russia spent $100,000 trying to influence the election.
You know what we need for this podcast? We need sound effects. So, like, when you say something silly, I can go, whoa, 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 whoa.
We can make that happen.
Like a soundboard.
Yeah. So, call to action, if you go to our website, stillunsponsored.com, we'll have pictures of our studio. And what you're actually looking at here is, like, my office. So, there's, like, the soldering iron over there.
You mean the dungeon?
Yeah, the dungeon. There's... Yeah.
When you're on camera, you usually have, like, your face against the wall, like you're being held captive somewhere.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, no, I was thinking actually that would happen over there.
Oh, okay.
Right, and on the other side of the room, we'd actually put, like, a table with a mixing board and some of that type equipment.
Nice.
So, because the goal is to not do any editing on this.
Right.
It's just live to tape. So I would love to...
Well, live to digital recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Live to SD card.
Ooh.
But I would also love to do live to Facebook Live and YouTube Live, right? And then it just lives on our YouTube channels.
And you got some good pipes to do that.
Do I?
You You got the fiber, man. You got the good fiber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got some good pipes.
I thought you were talking about my voice again.
No.
Okay. I was like, that has been digitally altered.
Get some T-Pain in here. Auto-tune.
Yeah, I can auto-tune everything. Okay, so we were talking about Russia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Russia spends $100,000. And Parskill says, like, okay, so marketing nerd, he doesn't do the right PR move. He's like, I think that's a joke.
Yeah.
Right? Well, because in our world, that would be a joke.
Yeah.
He just got done spending $90 million, and you're
Yes.
asking him if $100,000 mattered?
Yes.
No. He crapped that out for breakfast.
Yeah. But even, all right, so take his campaigns out of the picture, right? So 100K on Facebook. I mean, yeah, that might be
Okay,
it.
so these springs make noise.
Yeah. So take $100,000, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how you bid on Facebook, it goes anywhere from $1, $2 CPMs. So my math's pretty bad here, but you're talking not that much impressions for $100,000.
Yeah.
So even if you were to target a major metropolitan area, say Chicago, good old Chicago, Chi City, with $100,000, it's nothing.
Well, I guess the interesting thing though is like, yeah, and so you start to get into questions of scale, right? And it would be very interesting to look at his accounts, right?
Yeah.
Because $100,000 when you're spending $90 million is nothing, right? $100,000 when the Trump tactic is to actually go after rural areas is actually something, because
True.
the CPMs there are going to be a lot lower. There's a lot less noise in that marketplace. So, I think your $100,000 goes further, but there's a whole other, this would actually be a topic for another podcast. The tactics that Russia has used to, disseminate misinformation on the internet. Because I think it's, what we should cover? We should cover Russian.
Hold on, let me get the pen out.
Okay,
All
Zach's
right.
got the pen.
Ooh, Schneider, this looks nice.
Yeah. Okay. The topic for the podcast would be Ryan Holiday, growth hacking, and how you can marry that with Russian misinformation tactics to dominate the world.
Okay.
Yeah. Because essentially you have people doing the same thing. Like if you read Growth Hacking, right, by Ryan Holiday, it's like or Trust Me, I'm Lying was the book where he talked about a lot of like crazy tactics that he was using to generate, interest in the things that he was promoting. And he's doing it with like a very small scale.
Yep.
Versus Russia that has unlimited resources to do content generation.
Right.
And, all that bullshit. So,
Speaking of which,
okay.
South Park, hilarious. They just touched on everything you just talked about.
Yeah.
Could we, the side topic here, South Park's still relevant 22, 23 years later?
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. And the speed at which they're we were talking about this. Who's the dude in Hollywood?
Weinstein.
Weinstein, right? So, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, the Weinstein thing right now is blowing up, right? Because this probably won't actually be uploaded for at least maybe at least 4 more days, and our launch probably won't be for another week at least.
Yeah.
So Weinstein's blowing up right now, and South Park hit him in last night's episode.
Yeah. It's insane.
So that time to market,
Insane.
So if here's the take home let's bring it home for our marketing friends.
Let's do it.
Right. So if your creative team is like, I'm sorry, I can't execute that campaign because it's going to take too long and I don't have the creative resources. Be like, South Park, which is an animated show on national television that surely has a legal team much larger than yours, hit Weinstein, and that thing's been in the news for 4 days.
Yep.
Right?
All the way up.
That's fucking impressive.
That's, yeah.
Right? There are startups that don't move that fast.
Yeah. 20, I think 22, 23 years.
Yeah.
It truly is incredible.
Yeah. And they've probably gotten better over that time.
I remember watching the docuseries. We're going way off topic now, but I remember watching the docuseries.
It's marketing management and other bullshit. This is
the bullshit.
It's just other, but it definitely is a tangent off.
Yeah. So anyway, they were talking about how when they first started the show, all the animations and whatnot were done mainly by hand, and imagine the computers back in those days. That was totally. 97.
Yeah.
And now they can render stuff so much faster, where they've cut their production time drastically.
Yeah.
So now I'm guessing it's still quite the freaking scramble to get something out, but I can't imagine it's the same pressure as it was before.
No.
I don't know.
Okay. Next topic. Dove.
Wow, that was quite a transition.
I was like, I'm just not going to engage.
Yeah, clearly. You're done with that one.
Time check. We're at 22 minutes already. Okay. And if our goal was bite-sized, then we got to hustle.
All right, I'm on it.
The next two are quick hits. Because I think we really wanted to talk about the Facebook one. So, Dove, did you watch the ad?
I did.
Okay. So, Dove did this ad where it was like black female taking off a t-shirt, and then it was like one of those clever cuts where like the bottom of the t-shirt was white, and so as the t-shirt came off, it was like white female transition.
Yep.
Right.
And then she took it off, and I think it was like...
So there was a longer version, right?
Yes.
Where it was then, like an Asian lady or something like that. But they were running the like 3-second version that was just black to white.
Hey, I think Vine came back from the dead.
Oh, man. Like when this story first came out, I wanted to find some way I could defend my marketing homies, but... There's no way. Dude, that fuck. When someone came up with that pitch for that thing, you should have either said like, well, the white girl has to go first. Or you should have just been like, fuck this ad.
Yeah, how did it even get let's do an advertisement on skin colors and how it's appropriate for everyone. Like, what? Huh?
It's
like, how did anyone think this was a good idea to go out?
I don't know.
No, to be fair,
but the Pepsi Kylie Jenner thing,
that was just bad taste. Again, so this is what I was going.
But that one's harder to detect, right? Like if you're trying to deploy your bullshit meter in a conference room as people are pitching, like that Kylie Jenner thing, you're Pepsi.
That should have been nixed from the get-go.
But I would say like if someone's presenting like the Kylie Jenner thing and the Dove thing, I'd be like no to the Dove thing, maybe to the because I'm only half paying attention to this meeting for the reasons we'll discuss in the like primary topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
But okay, all right. So let me defend. Okay. Let me.
I keep trying to see it from Dove's standpoint, and like
I don't think anyone was going out of the way to be racist. I think it was just.
I don't think so either.
And
right?
I think what happened is people just they get into groupthink, and when a certain amount of people were working on it, who knows whatever. I think it just went out bad. It probably wasn't even a blip on the radar, honestly.
Well, here's the other thing. It wouldn't surprise me if there's 10 other versions of that ad and they were multivariate testing them, and that was the one that seemed like it was getting the engagement.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Right?
Yeah, that's very
true. And it turns out it was getting the engagement for the wrong
reasons.
All of a sudden it went viral. Hey, oh, wait, never mind. That's not what we wanted.
Yeah. Well, good news is short memory span. People forget about it.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, I think that's a brand that has been around for so long that they're going to come out of this more or less okay.
Yep.
And they did the right thing immediately. They pulled the ad, they said they're sorry, and moved on. And it
was a mistake. It was a bad PR move.
So I guess the thing that would be happening probably is there's probably a few people that are no longer employed on that ad team.
That'd be my guess, yeah. Or pulled off the account.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Permanently. Immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because here's the other thing, too. It wasn't just one person. I mean, to make those things takes a whole team.
Yeah.
So...
Can you imagine the, conversation that's happening? Like, you signed off on the brief. Right.
Right.
So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well...
That's how you have epically shitty days at work.
Yeah. Well, it makes for an enjoyable talking conversation.
Yeah. Again, I guess whenever we're talking about this, I want to know what was happening in the office, and I would love to like go interview that team and find out like why they had that blind spot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's it would be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Last bit of news in current events. Rick and Morty and the Szechuan sauce. So, for the people that don't know, Rick and Morty is an Adult Swim cartoon that is near and dear to my heart.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, that is pretty much an understatement.
Yeah.
If you visit my Instagram, there's pictures of me at the Rick and Morty mobile, the Rick mobile, when it came to Austin.
Which essentially, to be fair, was just a gift shop on wheels.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went and saw that.
Yeah.
You're right. They got me.
You could have primed now probably that crap and had it at your doorstep.
Okay, so season 3 opens, and Rick Sanchez, the main character, the mad scientist, goes on this giant rant about how all he cares about is getting McDonald's to bring back the Mulan Szechuan sauce.
Yes. Yes.
And for those that are paying attention, it's a nihilist rant. The guy cares about nothing. He wants to just like he's fucking with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the result was that hordes of people called McDonald's and requested the Szechuan sauce and tweeted them and whatever. It was this thing. It turned into this massive thing. So McDonald's, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon have both said that McDonald's was not involved. So I had speculated that McDonald's had paid for this, which, knowing or watching the creators on social, I was skeptical of that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like they're the product placement type without, like, throwing that brand under the bus in a really major way.
Yeah.
I think as a marketer and a fan of the show, I probably wouldn't do a product placement with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd really be asking for it.
That'd be really alienating your base.
Anyway, depending on how it worked out. But, so McDonald's at first was like, they started engaging the Rick and Morty fan base. They, late in the season, were posting pictures of like, and I can link to this in our show notes, stillunsponsored.com.
For now.
Call to action. Yeah, for now. If you
remember to join our mailing list.
Join our mailing list. If you want to sponsor us, go to stillunsponsored.com and we can talk about what we should name the show.
Hey, you can sponsor our name.
It could be your brand here. Zach and Chris talk about marketing.
.com. Yeah.
We know where to get domain names, okay?
We do. Yeah.
We're good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so they did a bunch of social media, but the latest news was they actually put the Szechuan sauce back in select stores, right?
Yes.
And it was like they sent like 10 packets to these stores.
For the entire store.
Where hordes of people showed up.
Yep.
And it didn't go well.
Madness ensued.
Chaos. Right.
Yeah.
So the Polygon article that I'll link to was like, basically, fans are angry. And I think they said that McDonald's was going to bring it back yet again. But the Polygon article was basically like, and several of the other articles were kind of like, if you're mad about McDonald's not having the Szechuan sauce, it's like you're missing the point.
You're missing the damn point
of what Rick and Morty was about.
Yeah.
Right. He cares about nothing.
Right. Right.
He was like an exercise in absurdism.
Yep.
Right. Which is why I love this show.
So this has nothing to really do with marketing.
Actually, okay, so here's the tie-in.
Okay.
Because you could mostly put that in the bullshit category.
That's what I was leaning towards. Is more bullshit, than marketing.
Think about the people that are into Rick and Morty. Like it's for the first time that I had considered going to McDonald's in recent history.
Yeah, but would you be there sitting ordering a Big Mac #1 meal with extra Szechuan sauce?
Okay, but here's my problem: is like when I'm into something, I tell everyone about it.
No.
know.
AKA these new microphones that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like everyone in the office knows we're doing a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Right? Because
All right, so maybe you have like another listener.
being
perhaps.
a marketer, I can't help but talk about what I'm into.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm like a hipster about the like shows I'm into because I go to the Rickmobile and I show up and I'm instantly like, yeah, I'm over Rick and Morty. I don't like this anymore. There's far too many people here.
Yeah.
Like I don't like seeing the other people that are into it.
Yeah, you don't want the show to be successful.
Oh, but I do.
But
I
you
really
do,
I really do because I want them to make so much more. It's like it's
Quite
fucked up. It's not. It's like it's me. You know, like I want them to be successful, but I want to be the only fan.
How selfish of you.
I know how selfish of me.
Ugh.
I got to get really rich and then enslave Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
And Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
To make Rick and Morty's.
So if you want to sponsor us,
And
make us really rich, and make Rick and Morty your personal bitch.
How would Rick and Morty look if the founders had no choice but to make Rick and Morty?
This would be a terrible show. I probably would not watch it.
Oh, but it would go so deep.
All right. Anyways, let's move on. New topic.
Okay,
No transition
new
required.
topic, because I'll talk about Rick and Morty for literally ever.
Yeah.
In our next podcast, Rick and Morty.
Co-host Chris and Chris.
Actually, my father-in-law would be into that. Okay, so time check. We're at 33 minutes. So I didn't do too bad talking about Rick and Morty.
I'm glad we kept it under about 10 minutes. That's
Hang on, I need more wine.
Oh, there goes the spring again. Damn it. So let's talk about these real quick.
Okay.
So did these stands come with the mics?
Yes. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. I was ranting about this to my wife on the way home from H.E. Butts grocery store.
The real name, ladies and gentlemen.
The real name, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, check out their SSL certificate. It's humorous. But Zach's broken it.
Came out of its hole. All right.
Okay, so this whole arm. So we got two of these, right? This whole arm, microphone, windscreen. There's a pop filter that comes with this that is not on it. It's in a box over there.
Yeah.
$22.
Yeah, I can kind of see why now.
No. I think when we were listening to the audio, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right now, they sound pretty good.
It reminds me of like a desk lamp. Like you literally could just put a bulb on the end of this.
Yeah,
thing.
look at those.
There you go. It's like a freaking desk lamp.
Because it's called like a scissor stand or whatever.
Scissor.
Thanks for that, Zach.
You're welcome.
We have alienated yet another audience.
Man, we need some Facebook ads. We need to broaden our market.
Shit. Okay. So yeah.
So okay, these things were $20 a pop. How the hell are they making money?
I don't know.
Like this microphone. Is this
I feel like you could take this microphone and you could put it in some store and you could put like $100 price tag on it and people would be like, oh, that's about right.
Oh, really?
You're playing with it. People are just going to hear you playing with it.
I am like a little teenager, aren't I?
Yeah. The scissor stand is not the or arm is not the interesting part, Zach.
But like,
okay, here's the thing. You're not.
I don't think I sound as good as you do on the microphone.
Are you not speaking into it the same way?
I am talking through it as you said.
Okay, interesting. Let's look at our gains.
Oh well, let me.
We're exactly the same.
Oh, let me look at these gains.
We're gonna miss out on the gains tomorrow since we're going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Which people will have already known that we're going to New Orleans
because they're listening in reverse order.
They're listening in reverse order.
This is like a bad Back to the Future. Like we're going in the reverse sequence of the.
Well, I guess we're assuming we actually get around to.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be like 45 minutes of us moaning about how hungover we are.
Yeah. You know what we should do is do it in the airport. You know, like the NPR, like sounds of whatever. And just like put the microphone on.
So it's like a podcast version of an Instagram live story?
Yeah. Mind blown.
It's called This American Life.
I gotta watch that.
You didn't just miss the boat. NPR did that.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. Look at these shock mounts. So these mounts are like, so you have the arm, right? This is the thing I didn't really appreciate. The microphone is being held in place essentially by what amounts to like a hair tie, under tension. And so that way, when you poking the scissor arm, less of that noise is getting translated into the microphone.
Yeah.
Again, all this shit, $22,
Yeah. No, it's not a bad deal.
right? And these cables, I think were like 2 for $5 or $10 or something like that. And you know, like the equipment that you expect to be expensive, like cameras and this digital recorder, they're still expensive, right?
You know, we probably should create a podcast about how to create a podcast.
Or maybe about what we've learned about creating a podcast so far.
Oh, like a case study.
Yeah.
We could clickbait the shit out of that.
But it'd be like an MBA case study. Good thing people are listening in reverse order because this is planned number 3.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're hearing us formulate the idea and admit that we don't know what we're talking about.
Right. This is so confusing to anyone listening.
Well, or they already know, right? It's like they're reading the book in reverse.
Yeah. So you already know what's happening.
Yeah.
So there's no incentive to keep going back in time.
Well,
Unless you want to see where the idea was.
I think we did an awesome job talking about the whole Facebook ads and Trump campaign.
And now it's been all...
Or at least we did
now
a job.
it's off the rails.
I know,
I
because
doubt
you
anyone's
wanted
still
to stop and talk about the podcasting equipment, dude.
No. It went off the rails with Rick and Morty. It was going off the rails then.
You had your opportunity
Szechuan
to get it
sauce.
back on the rails when you saw that on the show outline. Learning from show number 1, where we were all over the place, and we're like, what did we learn from this? Oh yeah, we need to have a plan going in.
Yeah. The problem is, I don't even think you gave me edit access on the plan. I think the plan is what you decided the plan was. I didn't really make any notes.
I added you to the Google Doc.
I think it was view only.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. I can create the next show, guys.
Yeah. All right. Next show brought to you by Zach.
Guest speaker, Zach.
But the audio on the next show will be like show number 1, essentially, because we're just going to use the stereo mics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
On the scene.
on scene
In New Orleans.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Should we do it? Do the
Airplane podcast.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
Do you think you could get all the noise, the noise out?
Yeah. So the 2 questions. I think that you might be able to get the noise out because the noise is fairly consistent.
Right.
But we would have to be yelling. If we had lavalier mics,
Yeah.
we probably could get it done. Everyone would think we're crazy on the plane because,
It's only an hour flight.
well, self-limiting. Everyone would think we were crazy on the plane because we would be 2 guys in headphones talking to each other.
Breaker. Yeah. Although, to be fair, the people we'll be flying with probably will not care.
Yeah, going to New Orleans on a Saturday
Yeah.
from Austin.
Yeah. After ACL?
You're right.
Yeah.
There's going to be 0 fucks given on this flight.
Absolutely
tomorrow.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
This message brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
This message brought to you by the one day the pre-line is actually works as intended.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So
That, you know what? That should be a topic. Air travel business tips.
it's on there, dude. Not like, yeah, in the document where I was brainstorming ideas.
The one where basically I can imagine you on the shitter just writing down stuff.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dove.
No, that was when I was like, what has happened this week?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I went through my RSS feed because,
Wait, you still have RSS feeds?
yeah, I migrated Google Reader into Feedly. And I really haven't changed what I'm subscribed to since, so it's just been getting smaller and smaller.
Hmm.
Interesting question.
So many
Interesting question for one day. Like, will RSS feeds still be relevant?
They aren't right now. Answer
well, they
done.
are for podcasting.
One little piece of the interwebs. I'm not writing that one down, actually. We just talked about it.
On this podcast, we cover our RSS feeds relevant. No.
Done.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Still unsponsored podcast. You can find us on iTunes. Rate us 5 stars. No, just kidding. We have more.
It's super efficient. Very efficient.
Bite size. Yes, the intro and the outro are like 5 times as long as the main content.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Focus, you fuck.
Ow, funny bone.
Okay. So, work-life balance was the topic that we wanted to cover today. So, basically, as you advance in your career, you sort of become more and more integral to the business, right? And it seems like many people deal with that by working more hours.
I don't know if I agree with that, but sure, let's go with it.
Okay. Corollary. Google Hangouts is what our business uses.
Yep.
And it's on our phones.
Yep.
Email, also on our phones.
Yep.
And if you didn't... Because I remember when the iPhone came out, it was like I was going to get an iPhone and put my work email on it because it was convenient.
Yep.
And I remember my dad having a BlackBerry.
The Crackberry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like now, if you weren't using your work email on your phone, it would be weird.
The phone would be worthless.
Well, we would probably look at you odd if you're like, oh, I didn't read that email.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I didn't look at that hourly report.
Yeah.
Right. But I remember having a conversation with one of my employees who's a guy that's like very upwardly mobile. And I basically, this was a couple years ago, we're coming back from lunch. And he said, hey, do you have Google Hangouts on your phone? And I was like, yes, I do. But it will take over your life.
Yep.
Because then it's even easier. Like the instant messenger you use on your desktop now is also on your phone.
Yep.
Which goes with you everywhere. So avoid putting it on your phone until you think you have to. But then once you're there, that's it.
See, and
your life's over.
Okay, so this is where I think we differ.
Okay.
I don't know. To me, work-life balance really isn't a thing. It never has been. Just the way I don't know what I must have been just created weirdly through my growth. I've always worked 12 hour days, period.
Yeah.
iPhone, so I started working really legit full-time, probably like 08, 09.
Mm-hmm.
So even though like the iPhone wasn't huge yet, yeah, I had a BlackBerry, if I remember correctly. And I always, from the start, was like addicted to it. Oh boy! Now you've done.
Now I'm making the noise. Okay, so like from the moment I got an iPhone, I was pretty well addicted to it. But I think the thing that like, as soon as my college job was Starbucks, but as soon as I had the real job, right, it became really apparent to me that there was, mentally anyway, there was no real thing as off time, right? Because I'd be laying in bed thinking about how to solve problems for work. I'd be standing in the shower thinking about how to solve problems for work. Like, there are moments where I'm not thinking about work, and then I go back to thinking about work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes in the gym, sometimes other times.
Right.
Right? Yeah. And, I think maintaining those moments of clarity or like Zen moments is sort of how I think about them, are important.
Yeah.
But, in terms of like actual work, like contact hours, I try and keep that to 8 hours, and I try and make that a sprint, right? So it's like I come into the office and I'm hauling ass from the time I get there to the time I leave. And then when I leave, I'm either doing things that are going to like feed into work.
Yep.
Or I'm doing things that are going to keep me healthy for work.
Yep.
Or I'm sitting there staring at a wall thinking about work.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very similar, except what I do is I essentially dedicate Monday through Friday. That is Zach work time. So same situation. I get there super early so I can just focus on what needs to be done for the day, cram out whatever I can. There for our team members, bounce ideas off of. I'm there, I'm typically, honestly, the last one leave generally.
You're usually the first one in, too.
First one in. So in accounting, this would be Philo. I'm a Philo. First in, last out.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took marketing in college.
First in, last out. Yeah. Anywho.
I understand.
Essentially, Monday through Friday, though, is Zach work time, right?
Yeah.
And then soon as Friday, 5 o'clock rolls around, unless it's an emergency, honestly, that's my game. That's Zach time. That's where I do things for me.
I think you and I are slightly different.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of like I think about sprints inside of marathons, and my week is like pretty regimented. Like I don't like a lot of disruptions during the week because it's sort of like I wake up at this time, I go to the gym, I come home from the gym, I do, like like we probably could walk through my daily routine and like nail 99% of what I do every day.
Yeah. By the way, that was a home improvement episode.
Oh, okay.
When I was sick a few weeks ago watching, Hulu has a category for 90s television.
Yeah.
Home improvement was one of them.
Yeah.
Tim Allen with his routine. Yeah.
So, okay, this is gonna be the Jocko fan podcast.
No.
Oh God, yeah, I know. But he keeps talking about like discipline equals freedom, right? And with his deep voice and yelling at you and making you feel bad.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm not a Navy SEAL. I'm just a worthless human being. But what he's trying to say there, if you can get past the oh, I'm a terrible person, is basically if you know that you always get up at a certain time and you always go to the gym at a certain time and you always do a prescribed workout and you always do you're in the office by this time and then it's work time.
Yep.
And then you leave at a certain time. What you're actually doing is you're actually, by implementing that regimen, freeing up a whole bunch of mental energy to actually apply that towards the real problems that are going to either move you forward in your career. Well, solve problems for your employer and move you forward in your career. Right? And I think that's, so I probably think about work maybe a little bit more on the weekends and tend to instant message and read emails and stuff like that. But it's on the weekends. It's a lot more freeform and unstructured.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg does this. He doesn't have any change in wardrobe, right?
Yeah.
He wears the same thing. And I gotta be honest, I did the same thing. I literally just took whatever was on the shelf and just put it on one week. And something so stupid like that.
Well, I think
you waste brain cycles.
Dude, we can go down to my bathroom right now, and I have a Post-it note that said Monday through Friday button-down shirts. Monday through Thursday button-down shirts, Friday polo shirt, Saturday and Sunday, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And it was my wardrobe wasn't as regimented as Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. But, it's a uniform.
Yeah.
It's a freaking uniform.
Yeah.
It's I wear either a mizzen and main, dress shirt.
Not sponsoring us.
Yeah, because we're still unsponsored.
Correct.
Or a Lululemon.
Not sponsored.
Yeah. There's no yoga happening on this podcast. Or a Lululemon Oxford.
Yep.
And a pair of jeans and a pair of sneakers.
Yep.
Right? That's what I wear every single day.
Well,
Monday through Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday. Monday through Thursday. Friday, I wear a T-shirt, which we've been joking is Phil's on Friday.
Phil's on Friday. Also, not a sponsor.
Also, yeah, because you are usually wearing a hat, and I'm usually wearing one of their T-shirts.
Yeah.
Right.
Phil's on Friday.
It happens enough that we start calling it things like Phil's on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which, after probably about the 5th week in a row of it happening, it was like, oh, this is a thing now.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's important, however. So I think what's good, and what's helped me over the last couple of years, especially working with you, is being able to have work-life balance, but also work-life together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you and I we know each other, but we know kind of each other's business as well, so we can help each other out, kind of give and take, which is really cool. And you can also have, someone on a more personal level bounce ideas off of, which you don't get from colleagues all the time. So, like, you and I think we have a really good thing going.
Well, actually, I think if we think about, the magic that one of the things that Taylor's created, is like, so
Taylor's our boss.
Taylor's our boss, right? And OG internet marketer, like, he's the man, and has seamlessly transitioned into a strategic role. Awesome dude. Gotta be easily like the best guy I've ever worked for.
Also not sponsoring us.
Is he though?
That's a good question, actually.
No, and that's not. Yeah, okay. I guess some people are probably like, Chris, you're sucking up right now. But no, like, I seriously do feel like he's like a super solid dude.
Yeah.
Casey is our peer at another brand.
Yep.
So there's this quartet of us, that almost work without a lot of like, we all know our place on the team, but it doesn't feel on a daily basis like there's a hierarchy.
Right.
Right? Like, we're just all in it together to accomplish a goal.
Yep.
And yeah, so I think that really helps, work not feel like work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I never grew up saying, oh, you know what, I want to be an internet marketer when I grow up. No.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really has.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it doesn't feel like work. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Well,
definitely there's
when
some
we were
days.
growing up, was internet a marketer thing?
Valid point.
Like, we were discovering what the internet was.
Valid point. But it's, there's definitely some days where it's work and some days where it's not work.
Yeah.
In terms of just what you get out of it.
So on that,
yeah,
I tend to think that, like, on most days, I feel like this is career advice that I give people. Like, on most days, I'm showing up because not because I don't have anything better to do, but because that's what I would do anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then there's some days that blow.
Yeah.
And those are the days that you're paying me. Mm-hmm. Right? So let's say that's like 10% of the time. Right? So actually I'm making my money in that 10% time period.
Yep.
And the rest of it I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, which doesn't mean you get to pay me less. You still have to pay me more.
Of course.
Right? Because I'm going to solve these really shitty problems for you.
Right.
And it's like, and usually when I'm solving the really shitty problems for the things that my employer is paying me for are the things that I'm enjoying.
Right.
Right. So they're not enjoying it, but I am.
Right.
Right. But it's usually when they're torturing me with things like legal.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, now you're paying.
That I remember that was a topic that we have to talk about.
Legal?
Yeah.
I think that's just going to be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
We should get them on the podcast.
Ooh. Probably have to make. We would have to sign probably a ton of waivers.
How ironic.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It would be hilarious. Though.
It would be hysterical.
I would actually. You know what I would love to do? I'd love to drop off like recording equipment with like a list of questions. It's like, just talk about marketing for like 30 minutes, and we'll put you in. We won't edit it.
Ugh. I can only imagine what would come out of it.
Oh, I know. Well, but this is sort of like the you talk at people, but are you actually listening? Like, I'm sure they have a perspective. They think they're doing right by the company.
Yeah.
Or they think they're doing right by their profession.
Right.
Right. But they seriously get in our way.
Yeah.
Right. And we certainly. It seems like. We're into a major tangent here.
Yeah.
I will just close by saying, like, if you're a ethical marketer, you know that screwing over your customers is a short track to not having a business. right?
Yep.
So we don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Like, we really don't want to do that.
Exactly.
So you want to treat your, like, customers with the highest regard, right? So when a legal comes in and tells you that, like, you know, you need to change something, it's like, but I'm already, like,
get out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
That was fun. Okay, so back to work-life balance.
Yeah.
Or
There
lack.
is none.
There is none. I'm sure there's a technical solution for cough.
Probably. I don't know what. Like last couple of days, I've just been like nothing. I feel like something keeps getting stuck in my throat.
Yeah. Do we need to go back to, like, we live in Austin, Texas, which is like the allergy capital.
central?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I probably sound extra nasally right now because I'm plugged.
Yeah.
Listen to me breathe on these new microphones. So when I set them up, tangents, right? When I set them up and started listening to the monitor, right, like in the headphones, all I could hear was my breathing. It didn't help.
Let's dial that down a little bit.
It didn't help that there was no free-form conversation, right? Because when you're talking, you don't think about breathing,
Right.
right? When you're having a conversation, you don't think about breathing. But when you're sitting here going like, mic check 1, 2, you're like, I'm a loud breather. That's me as a person.
A loud breather?
Yeah. Oh. What does that say about me?
There's some douchebag at the gym that like does sprints, but he breathes out of his nose. So just work with me here.
Okay.
So imagine just breathing really hard in and out of your nose after doing any, moderate exercise. And then imagine doing it when you are gasping for breath.
Have you ever seen, like, a spray paint can that's not working properly?
No, but I imagine it's very similar to what this guy probably is doing to his nose.
I was going to say, yeah, like that would be if I was doing sprints at the gym and breathing exclusively out of my nose.
Out of your nose.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Wow, we keep getting off tangents here.
Yeah.
This is some big bullshit.
And that is how we justify being a mouth breather.
Oh, man. There we go.
Bam! Did it.
I don't know. I think we probably alienated a whole bunch of more people.
Yeah, probably.
That segment keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Okay, so another YouTube channel that I've watched a lot trying to figure out how to do this is a guy who has a YouTube channel named, it's either Booth Junkie or Booth Junkies, and he does voiceover acting. And so he's always talking about from perspective of like voiceover.
He's really good at that mouth breathing thing?
So unsettling. No, but he actually had a video about breathing, and he was like, it would be somewhat unnatural if you weren't breathing. And he's like, most people don't really think about it, but you do have to practice. And he did say that, like, you do want to, like, mouth open breathe through your mouth because it just creates less noise. We're on 2 separate channels, so I can just edit that out.
All right, well, I tried. Sorry, gang.
In the future, I'll edit it out because now it won't make sense if we weren't.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So going forward, Zach will be edited. Actually, there's a thing called a noise gate, which is really what you'd want to implement. So your breathing would be below the threshold the microphone would pick up. Zach's like, his eyes are rolling back in his head right now.
Yeah, I've also been up since 5 a.m.
Okay. We're actually at an hour. So
wow.
So did we have anything else to say on work-life balance?
I don't think so. There is none. Long story short, there's no work-life balance. Do what's right for you.
Go to the gym, people. You gotta stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yes.
I would say that exercising has been critical to my career. Because you have the best thoughts in the shower. Let's face it.
Shower thoughts. That's a thing. Yeah. I have shower thoughts every morning.
And you gotta work out really hard to have the best shower thoughts.
Uh-huh.
So the recipe for awesome shower thoughts are pre-workout, hella hard workout, shower.
Okay.
Maybe that explains Donald Trump's tweets. Maybe that's what he's doing.
I think he's taking a massive shit.
He could be doing that too.
So he could be working out his asshole.
It's too frequent. Unless he's got like a very
He eats a lot of fast food, man.
Very regular bowel.
He eats a lot of fast food.
Dude, I can't wait.
I feel like there's a tie into the Szechuan sauce. I feel like we could
wait for the memoirs. You know, like Bush's memoirs came out and we found out that he actually had like half a brain.
Yeah.
That would have been useful information when he was president.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. I don't know. Might not have changed how I voted. And yeah, but the Trump memoirs, they're going to be good.
Yeah. They will be great. I wonder if you could literally just print out all of his tweets and just throw them into a book.
No, people are already doing that.
Yeah. There's his memoirs.
What if we just like got someone to follow him around and like we did reality TV like presidential style? This is sort of like everyone needs to go watch that movie Idiocracy. You don't like it?
It's fine.
Yeah. You're tapping your... Okay,
yeah.
We'll wrap it up. Watch Idiocracy. It's alarmingly accurate.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that concludes the Still Unsponsored podcast for this week, episode 2. If you liked this, then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review.
Please.
Or 5-star ranking and a review.
Please.
That would be awesome. Please. Thank you. Find us on social, which we'll be setting up Facebook pages. StillUnsponsored.com is our website, so go there, leave a comment.
Sign up for our mailing list.
Exactly. Sign up for our mailing list. If you dislike us intensely, then contact us on social media and tell us what we've done wrong.
Or give us money to shut up.
Yeah, that might work as well.
Yeah.
We might do like... It's sort of like a NPR style like fund drive.
Yeah.
Where it's like we'll shut up when you give us money.
Yeah, a little thermometer. We keep talking until you hit the mark.
No. Actually, we're not going to do this. We don't pick a name like Still Unsponsored and then expect to be paid off.
Yeah.
Which for a like hardcore capitalist seems awfully Bernie Sanders.
Oh boy, here we go.
Fuck. Okay. There's what's left of our audience. God damn it.
Until next time.
Until next time. All right. Actually, if you had topics that you wanted covered on the show, hit us up on social. I'm CW360 on Twitter.
I don't have Twitter.
We'll change that by next time.
I do, but I don't.
Go to stillunsponsored.com and leave a comment on how Zach should get a fucking Twitter account.
Most definitely.
If he thinks he's an internet marketer.
Yeah, most definitely.
You tool bag.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Well, that was great.
All right. See you next week, everyone.